city of Jabbridge. Open-minded, not blinded. It's on.
I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. Just praying to a God that I don't believe in. Cause I got time while she got freedom. Cause when a heart breaks, no, it don't break even. The best days will be some of my worst. She finally met a man that's gonna put her first.
It's Jabbridge, coming to you live and alive from the city of Jabbridge. It's the show called Open-Minded, Not Blinded, where we get you to challenge your mindset. This show is for you and about you. And today we have a very special, important topic that is going to be relevant to everybody's life, all my listeners. And we have a very special guest here with us today. Her name is Kaydia. So Kaydia, let's jump into it here. Please introduce yourself to the city of Jabbridge.
Hello everybody. My name is Kaydia. I'm from Brampton, Ontario. I'm a student in the practice of nursing program. I'm really excited talking about this topic today. So let's get into it.
So the topic we have today that Kaydia is so excited to talk about, it's called self-love. So the love of oneself. So, let's be sure, first of all, to thank the sponsors of today's episode. That's Nuclear Sound Studio, all the way in Australia, but they do work worldwide. So, I want to start off today's episode by asking you, the listeners in the city of Jabbridge, to do me a favor and please click the notification bell on the YouTube video and subscribe to our channel, so that way you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes and you don't definitely want to miss any of these. So today's topic is called self-love. Self-love. Now what is self-love? Let me answer that real quick. So self-love is the regard for one's own well-being and happiness, chiefly considered as a desirable rather than narcissistic characteristic. So it's a regard for one's own well-being and happiness. Based on our research here, self-love is when you take care of your personal needs, wants, and health. It also happens when someone is so comfortable, confident, and accepting of themselves that outside opinions do not deter them from their goals, dreams, passions, desires, and happiness. So you cannot be deterred by outside opinions when you have self-love. Now, Kaydia, based on that definition, what do you think? What do you have to say in regard to self-love?
I totally agree with that definition because in my words, I believe that self-love is accepting who you are as a person, knowing your worth. This can be even in a relationship, a bad relationship. Get yourself out of it because you know you deserve better. Uplifting yourself, right? And promoting your well-being.
Wow, powerful. Definitely, we agree, and definitely, I'm sure most of the listeners can relate to what you just said. What does self-love mean to you, though?
What it means to me? Self-love means to me like accepting who you are, right? You know your worth. You build your self-esteem. You're able to recognize, right? You're able to predict. And based on that, you're able to move forward. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Say I want to go to the movies and all my friends, they're busy. I'll go to the movies by myself. But a lot of time people will be like, oh, but that's boring, you're alone. But technically you're not alone because there are other people in the movie theater as well, right? Promotes your well-being as well.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. I
Yeah.
really love the way how you articulated that, and it's a really good example you gave also, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people had the notion or consideration to do something like that. However, they probably were deterred based on society's expectations or opinion of others. So that's a really good example. Thank you so much for that. Since when have you been interested in self-love?
I've been interested in self-love and I was in
Sorry, we didn't get that.
a really, really part in my life, like a really bad relationship.
Okay.
And although I was holding on because I really,
Sorry, so
I,
it seems like you keep cutting out. So far we heard that you were in a bad relationship.
yes. And I really, really loved that person. But I had to sit down and think, okay, what am I doing? Do I really love this person more than myself? Do I want to continue falling in depression? Do I know my worth? And I was able to think and reflect, and I'm like, hey, I love myself. I deserve better. Although I love this person, clearly this person do not appreciate me. So you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to move forward. And when I did that, I realized, hey, self-love is not all about being, selfish. It's about recognizing and knowing your worth.
Perfect. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. I'm sure a lot of people have been through similar issues like that, and definitely probably some are still going through some issues like that. So I'm sure that explanation there would be helpful to some or most. Thank you for sharing. Do you think you have self-love now? And why do you think you have self-love now?
I strongly believe that I have self-love now because as I told you, you're able to recognize and so forth. So whenever I'm in a situation and I feel like I'm not being treated right, I get myself out of there. Not only that, as the example that I use about going to the movie theater by myself, right? But even practicing self-care, right? Instead of laying down and feeling depressed about something, I'm able to practice self-care. This could include like going for a walk, say Valentine's Day is coming up, right?
Yes.
Buy yourself a gift to appreciate yourself. I remember when it was my birthday, I went out and I bought a lot of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? These stuff are for my birthday. They're a gift from myself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a very interesting way to look at it. You did mention Valentine's Day that is coming up, and I think that's something a lot of people are talking about. It's sort of a popular topic right now, and it's interesting that you brought that up. You said you would like to go out and buy yourself a gift as a practice of self-care and also as a measure of self-love.
Yes.
Wow, I think a lot of people are going to be so grateful to get this information. With that being said, what are some things you love most about yourself? I know you said you go to the movies, you practice self-care, you buy yourself gifts for your birthday, but what are some of the things you love most about yourself that you find that you could never live without?
Okay, let me think about that one. What I love about myself, I'm a very determined person. I never take no for an answer. And one of the things that I've realized, you know what? Sometimes you need to fall in love with the pain, you know? And I'll use this as an example, right? I've worked as a personal support worker for years, right? But to go in the nursing program, you really need to have math, right? And oh my God, I was scared. I was so scared. And I said to myself, you know what? I know who I am. I'm a determined person. So I made a lot of sacrifice, right? And guess what? I made it. I'm now in the nursing program. So I would think that I am a determined person. I've realized that. I've recognized that. And I would never let that go. I would never give up on anything that I want to achieve in life.
Wow, that's deep. That's powerful. And that goes to show that there's no limitations for you, and that's what the show is all about. This show here is all about you and it's for you. So it's about you and it's for you. It's a show that gets you to challenge your mindset. But most importantly, you have to understand there's no limitation for you. For those of you who are just joining us in this beautiful city of Jaffrey, today's topic is called self-love. We have a wonderful special guest with us that's sharing with us. Her name is Kaydia, and we're talking about self-love. She just gave us an example of how she was able to aspire in a field that she's about to be well accomplished in, and that's the nursing program. So we're talking about self-love here. On to the next question. Do you think that most people have self-love, Kaydia?
Most people have self-love. I think so. It's just for them to realize, and recognize. It's all about realizing and recognizing.
And how
because
go on.
Self-love not all about relationship, right? Because I got this from ltplace.com, and it talks about 4 ways to practice self-love. And one is practice proper hygiene. And a lot of people do practice proper hygiene, right? Eat for nutrition. So you're promoting your well-being. You're promoting living a more healthier lifestyle. And 3, spend time doing things that make you happy, right? And 4, spend some time going outdoors. So a lot of people have self-love. They're not able to really recognize what it really means. They're just looking at the relationship aspect of self-love. But it's not all about relationship. There's more about self-love. It's a really deep topic.
Definitely, and I am in total agreement of that. I think that we would have to probably do another episode in relation to this one, or an extension of this one, because self-love, again, as you just mentioned, it's a really deep topic, right? So, with that being said, why do you think, because you just mentioned recognizing and realizing self-love, and that's an issue where most people have, is that they don't recognize that they have it. So why do you think so many people struggle with self-love?
Why they struggle with it? Why they struggle with self-love? They're not able to actually realize what they mean to themselves, it's not all. I know this might sound selfish, but if you look at the positive part of it, what about you? Sometime, I know a lot of times we're thinking about others, which is a good thing, and we're putting others first. But why not think about yourself sometimes? You help others, but help yourself as well.
That makes sense. I realized we have a episode we did earlier this year. I think it was called Fear of Losing a Loved One, and the loss of a loved one. And we talked about that in that episode. We talked about people who are always able to give really good advice to everybody else, but when it comes to themselves in the situation, they don't know what to do, or they feel like they don't know what to do. So I think that speaks to that. If you want to hear that topic for the listeners here, you can actually go search on Google or YouTube or any major forum. You can search loss of a loved one and fear of losing a loved one, Open-Minded, Not Blinded, the Jack Reach Show. Alright, so that's a very important point you brought to us there, Kaydia. What are some main factors that contribute to lacking self-love?
Okay. Bad relationship, right? Depression. But I would think one of the major part is like being abused as a child. Parents, they need to be aware of the words that they use to their kids. Stop calling your kids dunce. Stop calling your kids stupid. People need to stop calling children ugly. They need to stop calling children, oh, you big and fat. They need to stop. One of the things back home, they call you fatty, they call you mumpy. Sometimes people will say, oh, you black like a tar, you red like malata. People need to stop all of this negativity. You don't understand how much words can affect children. And it moves on and carry on to their adulthood. They never feel like they're beautiful. They never feel like they're appreciated. They just look in the mirror and they see this big person. They see this ugly person. That's all they can see because they hear it in their head from their children. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow, that's powerful. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I think it's really important. So you're saying that the verbal, emotional, and mental abuse, essentially, that's what it is. It contributes. It's a major contributing factor in addition to bad relationships. It contributes to why people lack self-love. And I think that is so important that you mentioned that. And I think a lot of people are going to at least be aware now, or acknowledge it more, or recognize it more now. Because I think that is essentially the key and at the core or forefront of why people lack self-love. So I'm really appreciative of you bringing that up.
It's very sad.
With that being said, it's time for you to give the listeners in the city of Jack Reach your tips and strategies. So what would be your tip for people in regard to self-love?
My tip would be recognizing your worth. Know who you are. No matter what you want to do in life, you want to accomplish your goals, push yourself to the call. Tell yourself that you can do it. Make better choices. When you're in, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with giving people chances, right? But when you realize that, okay, you're giving people chances and they're not changing, they're not making any difference, you have to wake up and smell the coffee and say, hey, I deserve better.
Wow, that's important. I love that tip. So, with that being said, can you tell us your strategies in regard to self-love? How do they go about loving themselves? How do they go about accomplishing the tip that you just gave? What strategy should they use?
You know what? Be motivated. Be motivated. Get up and push yourself to the call.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, we want to say thank you so much for joining us today, Kaydia. We do appreciate everything you had to say. We are not through yet, but because you gave us your tips and strategies, it's time for me to give the listeners my tips and strategies. So my tip would be appreciative of yourself. Be mindful that you are in charge of you. Other people's opinion, definition, or calculation about your life is irrelevant. However you see yourself is most important. We have a link for you to click in the description of this video that would take you to 7 steps that would help you recognize and move forward with self-love in your life. So please click the link in the description of this video. Strategies. My strategy would be your biggest fan. Be your biggest cheerleader. Remind yourself every day that you are a winner. For more information about the topic self-love today, please call 289-804-7353 or email us directly at jaffreach@gmail.com. This is a part of the show called For You and About You. So, Kaydia, tell the wonderful listeners in the city of Jaffreach what you'd like them to know about you and how they can contact you if you choose to.
Okay, wonderful. So, as you know, I'm Kaydia. I am passionate about the healthcare field. I strongly believe it's my calling. Coming soon, we'll be launching school soon, is www.arterycure.com. So it's www.aterykyooor.com. I will be blogging, giving you some health tips, and I will be providing some aids to help promote your well-being. All the best. Thank you.
Wow, that's so powerful. That's empowering, encouraging, and motivating. And that's what this show is all about. Inspiration, motivation, and education. Thank you so much, Kaydia. On behalf of the Jaffreach Show and all the listeners in the city of Jaffreach, we want to thank you so much for all your wonderful input, feedback, and comments today. We got some wonderful feedback and comments. We are deeply moved by these. And they help encourage us to keep doing this for you and about you. If you have any comments, feedback, or something to add in regard to this topic today, self-love, please send us an email to jaffreach@gmail.com. So that's JAHF reach, like I'm about to reach over there, at gmail.com. On behalf of the Jaffreach Show, thank you so much for being a loyal listener and part of the beautiful city of Jaffreach. We appreciate you. Please remember to find us at Jaffreach. That's on Google, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, Facebook, WhatsApp, and all that. Comment, share, like, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, most importantly, do not keep the message to yourself, but share it with someone else. Until the next one, it's Jaffreach, not Jaffcom. Salute. Bye.
I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. Just praying to a God that I don't believe in. Cause I got time while she got freedom. Cause when her heart breaks, no, it don't break even. The best days when the summer my world. She finally